620.
All right, Mark, I'm giving you the keys to the Arizona Cardinals. You're the general manager. You have the 16th pick. What position are you filling?
Sell the team. Sell the team.
Can't do that today, Mark. Maybe in a few weeks.
Not on draft day. Not on draft
That's
day.
great.
So well, the thing is, guys, people ask me all the time, like if I talk to the Commanders radio station, it's like, well, who are they going to draft? It's like 16, 22, 31, 47, 18, and the Powerball number is 6.
Yeah.
How the heck do I know? Once you get past the first 2 or 3 picks in the NFL draft, you don't know what's going to happen. Teams could trade. How about if you're waiting for a player that you've tagged that this is the guy that we want, and somebody else picks him 2 picks before you get a chance to pick that guy? You just don't know. So you've got to have at least, if you're in the Cardinals position at this point, you've got to have at least 4 or 5 names that you're targeting right now, and you can go offensive line. I really think they're not going defensive line unless somebody really slides down really deep in this draft. The reason being is, look what they've already did on their defensive line. Last year's draft Darius Robinson in the first round. Hopefully they can get something out of him this year. Look what they did in free agency this year. They retooled their entire defensive front. So why would they go for another defensive lineman in the draft? Get a position need. Get an offensive lineman. Get a wide receiver. Get a cornerback if Howard slides from Michigan. They're talking about him sliding because of his injuries.
So, Mark, when you talk about Calais Campbell and Tomlinson and some of the other guys, Sweat, them scratching those itches, so to speak, on the defensive side, I agree with you. I'd love to see them get the top available offensive guard or offensive lineman at that number 16. But have they satisfied that defense for the upcoming year, or do they need to continue to build maybe some 3rd, 4th round draft picks on the defensive side?
I think that's the way that I would go. I would go later on in the draft to try to get some backups, the guys that they can put in there so they can keep these starters fresh. They can go in and give them a couple of series off, give them a couple of plays off, find that depth, that quality depth that you can build on for down the road. That's what I would be looking to target. I would find the best position of need right now and the best player available at the point, because you don't know who's going to be available. You're hoping that guys are going to be available. You don't know. What if one of the better tight ends in the draft falls down? Are you going to sit there and say, well, we signed our guy to a big time contract, but we're going to go ahead and just sign, Loveland from Michigan if he slides down that far? If he's there and available, why not take him? Look what New England, when they had their success, when they had 2 tight ends with Brady, they had a lot of success with Gronk and Hernandez going to Super Bowl. Why not go with that approach if that player is available? But you just got to wait to find out what happens. You never know what's going to happen. It is a privilege and an honor to be drafted. It's something that you don't expect to have happen.
Mark May is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Mark, what I want to ask is about the draft itself. And it seems to be a draft that does not have sizzle to it, excitement to it, maybe other than where Shedeur Sanders is going to land. But there are some really good players in here, right? I mean, it's a loaded draft for offensive line, defensive line, cornerbacks, and even some wideouts.
Absolutely, Jimmy. When you look at this draft, so they don't have those big quarterbacks that are going last year in the first round and multiple players like that. But they can build on quality players in this draft. You always go where your bet is, brother. Offensive line, defensive line. Build from the inside out. The trenches are out. It's not sexy. It's not appealing to the fans. But guess what? That's what stabilizes your franchise when you get those quality players inside and build from inside out. This is one of those drafts where, hey, forget about the sizzle. We're going with steak.
So in reference, the one thing you alluded to, and I've been pounding the table too, that I think they definitely need, whether it be the 2nd or 3rd round, I would prefer 2nd. You'll get that home run hitter, that fast wide receiver, hopefully catch the damn ball. But somebody that can stretch this defense out, because the Cardinals have been lacking that last several years. Would you get a top, fastest receiver in that 2nd pick for the Cardinals?
The question is there going to be one available in that second area?
That's true.
If you look at Ibuka from Ohio State, everybody's going to say that he's going anywhere from 1st round to early 2nd round to mid-2nd round. That's definitely a player. He's not a big-time burner, but he's a complete wide receiver. And there aren't that many players. There's a kid from Texas that's done an outstanding job catching the ball. He's a 4.29 40?
Yeah.
But besides that, there aren't that many guys out there. If you can find a guy that can catch the ball, that's a good route runner, that runs a 4.3, 4.3, 4.3, 4.4 range, go ahead and take him if he's available. But I don't know if there's that guy that early in the draft that you want to put that much value in, because if you look at the board right now, basically there's like 2 or 3 wide receivers that may go in the first 2 rounds early. After that, it's like a crapshoot.
And what about a lot of these top running backs as far as coming out? Jeanty obviously should probably be the first one. The running backs back in vogue now after being so many years of off the board?
I think so. I think when you look at it, it always runs cyclical in the NFL. There's always a cycle pattern where All of a sudden, running backs in the 80s, you got to have a big running back. You got to have a great offensive line. You got to kill the clock and keep your defense fresh and off the field. Then all of a sudden, it went to wide receiver. We're going to spread them out. Then all of a sudden, the zone reads and stuff came in. The bottom line is, it's always going to happen that way. But if you look at the good franchises, Philadelphia, good running game. Kansas City, good running game. San Francisco, good running game. LA Rams, good running game. When you look at those teams that year in and year out consistently are getting to the playoffs, bottom line, they're always in the top 10 in running. Even when running backs were in both, they're always in the top 10 in running.
About another 2.5 with Mark, 2.5 with Mark.
And the rushing attack. Even if they didn't have that premier back, one player, Saquon Barkley, goes from the Giants to the Philadelphia Eagles with their great offensive line. They win the Super Bowl in year one. Running backs are in.
Where do you think Shedeur Sanders eventually ends up? There's so much chatter about this kid. I don't get it, Mark. I think he's very talented. But it seems like there's so much chatter about why he should be pushed down, why they shouldn't draft him. I don't understand that.
Two things that stink about the draft, particularly the last week and the last few days leading up to the draft, that drives me wild, that does not make sense. You've got years, 1, 2, 3, 4 years of and plus now with the COVID years, maybe 5 or 6 years of watching a player play.
Yes.
That doesn't change. If you're going to wait until the combine and when you test and work them out, gee, let him have to jump over a box and skip rope. Boy, he does that real well. Let's move him up in the draft. No. You look at the film, you look at the tape, and you say, can he play at the next level? Does he dominate at his level where he's playing now? Is he an exceptional player at the level where he's playing now? All that other stuff, great. Run the 40, do the vertical. All that stuff is great to find out if you're an athlete. But if you're a good football player, you're an athlete to begin with. And you're good enough to make it to the next level. And the other thing's about tearing these players down. It's like, you hear one report about, geez, Shedeur Sanders came in and he was really cocky. Then the next report comes in and says, well, when we interviewed him, we thought he was terrific. We thought he was one of the best interviews we had the entire draft. So who are you going to believe? Do you want that player to fall to you? Or do you want that player to rise up in the draft? Are you going to build a player up or knock him down? For some reason this year, they're knocking everybody down. There's very few players that are rising up in a hurry this year.
Mark, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for the time today.
You bet. Have a good one, guys.
That's Mark May joining us, of course, Super Bowl champion. And he joins us here on the Right Toyota guest line. We are live from Twin Peaks in Glendale, getting ready for tonight's draft. Coming up, we need a contestant to challenge one of the beautiful Twin Peaks girls from the Glendale Twin Peaks. We'll take caller number 5 at 602-230-0620. That's 602-230-0620. And you will be picking the Knicks at Pistons, Nuggets at Clippers, and Lakers at Timberwolves, which is tomorrow. And we'll take that caller now at 602.